Selamat sejahtera dan selamat sepup. Sepoops, you might have noticed that I've been bringing in a couple of unconventional guests recently. It started with Michael Petraeus, critical Spectator, and then it continued with Murray Hunter. Thank you both for coming on the podcast. I don't think a lot of people are gonna agree with what you do or how you see the world, but it was a pleasure to learn from your experiences. You might have noticed that I also followed that up with a couple of unconventional invitations. So let's list them one by one. Zamri Vinoth, Firdaus Wong, Tamim Dahri, Zakir Naik, and Queen Sepup Siti Mastura Muhammad. Yup, that's right. I am inviting them to actually have a conversation with me, and these are real invitations, by the way, to speak with me on Zoom. It's not like I'm inviting people and then just hoping that they're gonna reject so I can then say, hey, I invited you. Kenapa kau kecut sangat? Why are you chicken? Why don't you dare to go and talk to me? No, I am actually interested to hear their points of view. Now, why is this happening? First of all, when I made a video of Michael, then somebody went and asked me, why are you platforming critical Spectator? And I was like, immediately, bro, I'll choose to feature anybody that I want to feature. But then later on, when I was talking to Murray, he mentioned that
I try and be in the center. That's what a good journalist should do. They should be a political atheist.
Which was something that I ended up taking to heart. And it made me realize the benefit of actually having a platform like this in the first place, which is to kind of showcase different ways of thinking about the world. I know for a fact that Tamim, Zamri, and Firdaus in particular aren't exactly going to get very welcome receptions if they do come on to the podcast. But my intention isn't just to platform them as in bodek, jilat, showcase their ideas to the world. It's just more of I'm interested in understanding how they as human beings think about the things around them and to ask them hard questions which probably a lot of you want answers to at this point. Questions like, for example, bro or bro sepoops if you prefer, are y'all racist? Do you secretly hate group X, Y, Z, the botol kicap, the type Cs? Is your Gara rally really just about respecting land laws? Are you really just menungganging agama for the purpose of your personal wealth and your bank account every single time you go out there, and you act like it is to protect this country? See, a lot of these questions are questions I think that a lot of people just won't ask because they already support people like these, and they already say, oh, orang ini adalah orang baik. They're afraid of destroying the credibility of their heroes, but for me, I think it's really interesting to just have these hard-hitting conversations to understand things from an unbiased, impartial lens, or at least unbiased to the extent that I actually can provide. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, and I think that a lot of people out there, no matter whom I feature, no matter what I say, they are going to say that I'm biased. Well, so be it. But this is kind of more of a tepuk dada tanya iman type thing. I'm interested to showcase a diversity of different voices on this platform that I have and to pretty much hear what people have to say, even if my audience thinks that those people are horrible, the worst people in the world, literal trash, because I do have a philosophy,
at least partly inspired by my university days,
which is that people should be able to hear out what other people are saying, even if they disagree with them so completely, so thoroughly. It's not just about countering narratives or stuff like that, although sure, in some instances, when people say things, then that reveals much more about them than you might actually expect. But it's also about creating a much more open culture where we can agree to disagree, and I can share my opinions about how, for example, in my case, lakum dinukum waliyadin, I'm not really interested in hearing about your religion in the vast majority of cases, although I understand if you use it as a sort of personal expression of the way that you think or you view the world. And then we can maybe talk about that. Doesn't mean that we're going to come to an agreement or anything, but if you think those kinds of conversations are important or valuable, then I hope that you support me on this journey. I don't know if I'm going to call it anything specific, unfiltered conversations or something like that, but it could go around those lines or just be kind of a short mini series. But in the first place, that's if any of them even accept the invitation. I don't even know if they're going to accept the invitation or they're maybe going to assume that it's just trolling, or they would chicken out or run away, which is a very real possibility. But my invitations are genuine offers. I'm actually interested in hearing what some of these people have to say and to sort of quiz them along the way, pick their brains. If there's something that we can learn from one another, even if we disagree, then sure. Just don't be going around saying semoga mendapat hidayah or something like that. And I think that we're all good and we can have a conversation. But yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much all in the works right now. Nobody has actually reply to say, absolutely, yes, Sapoop, I will come on the podcast with you, but I just want to put it out there. I think that these are conversations that are valuable, and I think that more people should be having. Even if I don't get the chance to talk to some of these people, I hope that at least somebody will. And not from some sort of hive mind, echo chamber perspective, but rather from the point of view of, I don't agree with your ideas, I want to criticize your ideas, I want to examine them, and talk about the narrative that you're building, and maybe in some ways we can learn something from one another. But anyway, yeah, so that's my little project. And those are the invitations. The balls are in your court, Sapoops. So if you're interested, then I look forward to speaking with all of you. Let me know what you think of this project, Sapoops, and if you have any suggestions or ideas, as always, feel free to leave them down in the comments. That's all to say about that, and bye.